All right, welcome to Sports Buzz. Today, my buddy Zach from Windrose is here. Zach, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Eric.
And it's a special day. We're talking kayaks, we're talking summertime, we're talking Windrose North, all kinds of stuff. And you actually brought in a kayak. We'll get to that. We'll show that in a little bit. This kayak that we're going to show you later, you can get it on the Shoreline Shopping Show at BayCitiesOnline.com at a good rate, right?
Absolutely. So I know the retail value is at $469 on this Old Town. It's a 9XT Heron, and I'm sure Bay Cities will have a great price listed on it. We're going to talk about that after, but this is a sunburst color on this Old Town Heron, and it's a recreational style kayak. It has, a nice oversized cockpit, so it's easy to get in and out of. Has a nice cushioned seat, adjustable seat at the backrest, adjustable foot pegs. There's bulkheads. There's one bulkhead on the back with a hatch access, and in the front there's a foam insert. That way it's a nice safe unit, so if someone gets in it and they're not as experienced, if they do tip it over, it's going to float real easily. There's two carry handles on the bow and stern, so you can transport it easily. And just a nice, fun, all-around kayak. At 9 feet long, you can get it into a variety of different vehicle types and styles. We're excited to have it here for Bay Cities Radio.
Yeah, and like you just saw, real easy. I tried to get in there a little bit ago, and like I told you, I could almost fall asleep. It's so comfortable.
Well, Eric, we know you were up late last night. However,
actually, that was Sunday.
That was Sunday.
Not yesterday. I was a good boy yesterday. That was Sunday that I was up late.
Right.
I think there was drinks involved too.
I was at a wedding on Saturday, so we're both kind of feeling it. But so we're here. It's a Tuesday, and
it is a Tuesday,
and we're excited to be here. But Windrose North has a variety of different events going on throughout the summer. Starting off, this is Memorial Day weekend, so if you're looking to do some kayak rentals or such, $10 an hour, folks, for kayak rentals is a great deal. We have tandem kayaks available this summer, which is going to be really interesting. It's the first summer we've had a full tandem rental fleet. Coming up on June 9th is our first ever kayak fishing tournament at Shaky Lakes in Menominee County. So
I have a camp up there. It's really nice up there. Yeah, so I'll probably stop by.
You better stop by.
Otherwise, I'm in trouble.
Yeah. We'll get you out on the water.
There you go.
But the cool thing about that tournament, it's on Saturday, June 9th, so just a couple weeks away. We are going to have a representative from Native Watercraft, which is a pedal drive kayak specific company, and also Old Town, which is another fishing specific brand that they have rec kayaks, but they also offer pedal drives and camouflage colors and such for the fishing side of the industry. So we're going to have those two brands there. We're going to have a representative that is on YouTube. Is called No Fish Nick.
Right. Not what you think when you hear that. He actually can fish, people.
He's a good fisherman, but the name does not imply.
Right,
but
right.
Over 6,000 video subscribers to Nick on his YouTube channel. Yeah. So we're excited to see him. He's going to bring his drone along and do some camera footage, and we're going to get out on the water nice and early. It's the kickoff is at 6:45 a.m. on Saturday. We're kind of asking people, to give us an opportunity here to try it out. If you've never tried kayak fishing, it's a lot of fun. We've even opened it up. Just decided yesterday that we definitely want to get the kids involved, and so we're going to give away another kayak.
Yeah, that's what you're telling me. And actually, kids are free, right, to the tournament?
Absolutely. So the adult entry fee is $40, and that's going to go into a 75% payout at the end of the day for largest species. I think we're going to do bass, and but we're going to have a separate category for the kids. If the kids want to weigh in a fish, they can get out on the water in their own kayaks, and then whoever brings in the largest fish in the kayak in the kids section of the kayak tournament, they will actually take home a brand new fishing kayak or Old Town wreck kayak or something of that nature. We got to pick it out yet. It's going to be a surprise.
That is awesome. Now, again, I know you already mentioned it, but say it again. When and where is this all going to take place? Dates, times, and where?
So Saturday, June 9th, and that's going to be up at Shaky Lakes Campground. So that's in Menominee County. So it's a free fishing weekend, Wisconsin residents. So if you're wondering when free fishing weekend is for Michigan, it's that weekend. So it's a great opportunity to try a new body of water that maybe you haven't tried last summer or in years past. Take an opportunity to go up there. It's only like 45 minutes.
Well, you just hit G12, right, and take a left.
Yeah, 45 minutes north of Menominee. So it's really easy to get to.
Yeah, it's beautiful up there, yeah.
Absolutely. Real straight shot. You can Google Shaky Lakes Campground. That's the best way to get the address, so we're not giving you all the left and rights. But it's going to be a fun event. It's going to kick off pretty early, 6:45, and there's going to be kind of a lunch being held, and the adult fee is going to pay for the lunch for the adults. Kids, we're trying to figure this out on the fly, so we think the kids are going to have to be extra. So we're giving away a kayak. So we're hoping that $5 for lunch isn't too much of a
not bad at all.
Big deal. So
now, is the whole Windrose crew going to be there? You, Ty, other people?
Yeah, for sure. So we have to have some people run the store. So we're still going to be open on Saturday.
Okay.
For sure. So I think I'm not sure who's on the schedule, but we might have Jared or Jim. Jim Marsek or Jared Husky could be up there, but otherwise they'll be in the store.
Okay.
So, but definitely myself and Ty Hansen will be there.
If before we go on about kayaks, talk about the store too a little bit, because it's not just kayaks, it's not just fishing, it's also clothing. You can see this shirt, one of the shirts I'm wearing right now. I have a few items from your store, and I love them. I was telling you, I wear this shirt all the time, and you have a lot of cool clothes, a lot of cool hats. Actually, I saw if you buy a knife right now, you get a free hat, and those hats are really cool.
Yeah, if you buy Rapid River Knives, they just came in. Christy Durson, she's the one of the owners of the company, married to Chris Durson, and they dropped off some knives on Friday, and I thought, for Father's Day, let's give away a Windrose North bait and tackle hat with any knife purchase in the Rapid River
cool.
knife case. So.
And you have all kinds of stuff. I see you always have people modeling clothes and things like that on Facebook. It's really cool. Yeah, great clothing there.
Yeah, Braden Madden. Do a shout out to her this morning.
Marissa too, right?
And Marissa. Yeah, Marissa Side. Both girls do a great job.
They do, yeah.
Braden's just going to do something. We have a Viking program through Helly Hansen going on right now, where she's going to send in some photos and hopefully get on some sort of promotional advertisement for Helly Hansen this summer. So
awesome,
we're excited for her. And then Marissa's been great. She's so easy to work with and always available, and she's very photogenic, obviously. So
always a good thing,
right?
Now, location. A lot of people have been to Windrose, but if you haven't, where are you guys located?
427 and 10th Avenue in downtown Menominee. So it's right across from the Ogden Club, the Masonic Temple, or Menominee Floral, or right across the street from that. So
if you're cruising through town, you see Holiday, don't take a left on 41, just keep going straight, and
go
you'll hit
straight
it. You'll be on the
bay.
right. Yep, exactly right. Straight to the bay. That's where all the good stuff is, down there. You want to get down there.
Absolutely.
Back to kayaks now. One of the cool things, you and I were talking before we started this, one of the cool things you were telling me about is Wednesday night paddles. Tell everybody about that a little bit.
Right. So after Memorial Day, we're going to get out on the water. We're still waiting for the temperature just to get a little bit warmer. But Wednesday nights, as long as weather's permitting, we're going to be out on the water at 6 o'clock. And you can take lessons or rent kayaks during that time period. Wednesday night rentals are $20 for the night. So we start at 6 and go until dark. We leave from the Minneconne Kayak Launch. We've had a lot of positive remarks from that. The launch is awesome. The city of Marinette did a fabulous job on that park. So we're excited to utilize that and get our kayaks on the water safely, in and out of the water. We also do lessons, which are $50 an evening, and that's a 2.5 to 3 hour lesson. And we follow a curriculum established by the American Canoe Association. So we have a format that we follow, and we're fully insured and all that good stuff. We do some self-rescues and tandem rescues on volunteer basis. So we'd like everybody to do it. Some people are more apt to get in the water than others, but at least being aware of what can happen. We are on the bay, and so river systems are a little easier. They're still can be very dangerous if you're not properly equipped, but being that we're on the bay, there's some additional considerations to be aware of when you're kayaking this summer.
Exactly, and I think there's plans in the works to get me on the water. I've heard rumors around here. I've heard it from Ty. I think I've heard it from you too, and then the people upstairs in this radio station. There's rumors.
Absolutely.
We'll see what's going to happen this summer.
And you're going to have to bring a dry suit.
Oh, really? We're getting that in depth.
It's going to be, you're going to be in contact with the water.
All right. So how long have you been involved with kayaking, like your whole life?
Yeah.
I mean, at Windrose, have you always sold kayaks?
We didn't always. We started in '99, and then in 2006, we had an opportunity to partner up with Hurricane Kayaks, and Hurricane Aquasports is for sure our best-selling kayak. They've been a great brand to work with. They actually started the same year as we did in business in '99.
Okay.
So I have a pretty good relationship with them. They have a sister company called Native Watercraft, and again, that's our kayak fishing brand. And then Old Town has branched out into kayak fishing, so They have their recreational lineup and their kayak fishing specific boats available. But yeah, we've been doing it for a while. Before that, I was involved in the Stevenson, Michigan 4-H Challenge Group in Stevenson, and that's an awesome program. It was ran by Dale Fountain at the time. You know, going back, I mean, it's over 20 years ago that we've been on the on the water in Pike River, canoeing and kayaking, the Menominee River. You know, the Pike specifically, we're going down some class 1 through class 3 rapids and stuff, and so it's a different type of kayaking. Now it's definitely gone more towards a recreational style where it's not so intense, and you still have to have certain basic safety items on your boat and on you to make sure that you're going to come out of the sport alive.
Exactly. My brother got hurt, a couple of years ago. I know there's some pretty tough spots in the area too, and it's not all easy spots, that's for sure.
No, exactly. So I'm a big sea kayaker. Big shout out to Sea Kayak Specialist in Marquette. That's where I got my training done through Sam Crowley, and he's a level 5 or 6. He's at the top of the game for sea kayaking, and I learned from him. So definitely never stop learning in kayaking. You would think it'd be an easy sport. You can see a kayak, you can see a paddle, you can guess how to use it. I mean,
right.
Eskimos have been kayaking forever. I mean, many different people, but there's definitely a lot of material to be aware of. Safety, it all revolves around safety.
Sure.
And efficiency. Just being able to use that paddle. If you're going a long distance, you want to make sure you're not doing something incorrectly where you could injure a shoulder or
right.
Wear yourself out. So.
Well, right now, why don't we talk about this bad boy?
Sure.
I'm going to take off my headphones. I'm going to leave it to you. You can be the cameraman, and you can also do the audio and tell everybody about it, because I'll be over there.
Okay.
I'm going to go in there. I'll let you film it. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about. Tell everybody about this really, really, really cool kayak that we have over here, okay?
Sure. That sounds good.
So, yeah.
Okay, the first thing you guys are going to notice is just the overall beauty of this kayak. It is an Old Town Heron. It's a 9XT, so it's 9 feet long. It is over 30 inches wide, so the great thing of this is it's a real stable kayak, so from a beginner standpoint, like Eric is.
It's comfortable, man. It's really comfortable.
The seat is all
foam. I can go to
foam.
sleep.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you really can.
The seat is really nice, yeah.
Sunburst color, so it's real nice and visible on the water, so if you do get into a situation, people can spot you. Again, Eric doesn't have his life jacket on, but we highly suggest.
The waves get pretty bad in here, yeah.
They do. I mean, that carpet can really start rolling. So the great thing about this, though, again, is just the seat position. There's a 3-point stance that is really comfortable. So the balls
Am I sitting correctly?
Not quite.
Okay.
But if
I've never done this before. So you were telling me knees here, right?
Yes,
and
knees and thighs.
Back.
Yeah, the back.
Feet.
Yep. So it's a 3-point stance.
Really rock it, right?
Yeah, you should be able to rock it without using your arms at all. You should just be able to use your hips. It's kind of like dancing, like on Sunday night.
Oh
boy. But a great boat. It has actually foam up in the front, right where that darker orange is. So if it does capsize, there is foam that provide that buoyancy in the front, and then in the back, underneath that hatch cover is an air chamber, and that is also just a great safety feature as long as storage. So everybody thinks, oh, where do I put my stuff? But the number one reason that hatch is there is just from a safety standpoint. Okay.
And we have adjustable foot pegs here for however tall you are.
Yeah, Eric is slightly taller than I am, so we had to push those out quite a bit. But yeah, it's a good fitting boat. Even, how tall are you?
I'm 6 feet.
So yeah, he's taller. So 6 feet and you're fitting in a 9-foot kayak, that's pretty good. Generally we would go a little bit longer, but Eric is nice and trim, so this boat's working for him.
I try. Watch my figure.
But yeah, this is again, it's an Old Town Heron XT 9-footer, and it's going to be available on the Bay Cities Online website for a great price. I know they retail at $469. That's not the price you're going to pay. So thanks for taking a look at that, Eric.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me set this up. Yeah, and as you could see, easy in and easy out. I mean, and I'm 6 feet tall. It's super easy to get in there and really comfortable. So it really makes you want to get out, and the weather's finally getting better. It's starting to warm up, and summertime, all the summer activities are going to be taking place soon. So kayaking, is there another better way to get out there and enjoy where we live?
No, there's not, and we've already gotten calls. I've got a group of 6 booked for first week in July, I believe, to go out and take a tour of the LCS. I said, don't get next to them. The Coast Guard doesn't like that.
Oh yeah.
But paddle up to paddle on the river and see them. When you're in a kayak, the LCS program looks pretty amazing.
It does, yeah.
So
it's pretty cool. And before, I know our time is almost up here, but I did want to ask you one of the coolest things that I saw. You guys are always doing different interesting things online and in the store, is the vending machines. I know I talked to Ty about that. When I saw that was so clever. That's genius. I don't think you guys didn't come up with that, right? Did you?
No, Ty actually went to a trade show.
Okay.
And they had him there, and talked to a guy named Steve. He's an awesome dude. He got us set up with him. We have 3 machines. We have one at the Stevenson Cenex station, right on the corner of G12 and 41. We have one at the Edgewood Motel. Captain Steve Paulson's running the motel, and he also is a guide out and a captain out on the bay for walleye. So that machine is going to be stocked, more walleye orientated baits, but and all 3 machines, and then finally the one at Boom Landing in Marinette. All 3 machines have crawlers in them. We're going to be experimenting with panfish, like small crappie minnows, and some other live baits. We're going to try to get as much live bait in there as we can. They're heated and cooled.
It's really cool, yeah.
It's a neat setup, and we already have people using them. You have the diehard fishermen out there, and just the guys that are out there every day.
Right.
The prices are good on them. The convenience, obviously, we don't have to be open, but the machines are open 24/7.
Right.
So
another thing too coming up is Family Rec Day, and you guys are involved with that too, right?
Yeah, Ty has been talking with the Family Rec Day committee and Keith Killen at M&M Plaza, and just had a meeting this morning. They're going to be set up in the corner of the marina on the south corner, and that's going to be where the weigh-in takes place.
Okay.
So it's a great opportunity for the high school teams to come out, Marinette, Menominee, to just kind of get on the water. It's new, fresh start to summer, and hopefully catch some fish. They're going to be leaving out of the Minikani kayak, or not the kayak launch, the power launch.
Okay.
For regular boaters. But I don't know how he's running it, if he's going to have kids that can jump on the boats and stuff too. But there should be more information on our Windrose North Bait and Tackle Facebook page.
Okay. So where can people now? Facebook, is that the best way to get a hold of you guys besides phone number and stopping by?
Yeah, Facebook is, if you call, sometimes we can't answer because we're with customers or we're on the radio. But
which is quite often, actually.
Quite often. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it.
Got a shout out to Barb there for that.
You and I have been together quite a few times, actually, almost like a partner.
Yep, absolutely. It's been working good.
Yeah.
But no, what was I saying? So the best way would probably be the Facebook messaging, instant messaging. But again, if you don't have Facebook, that's not a big deal. We have the phone number. We have our website. Stop in. Or
get a hold of me, and I'll get a hold of them. There's always a way. One last thing. I'm looking at our time here. One last thing too is fishing's always been popular around here, but it's exploding with the high schools. It's really cool. These fishing teams. I don't even remember much of that when I was in high school, which is a while ago. But I don't remember a lot of that, and it seems like that's huge now around here.
Right. I got to really thank Ty for that. He got that started with Menominee right away, and then kind of branched out to Marinette the following year. And both those programs have progressed real nicely, and great group of guys. Colton Kotecki, which obviously does.
Adam Wall too. A lot of kids I know,
Wall.
And it's not Maroons versus Marinette or anything like that. They kind of are all
the fishing,
hanging out together and have a good time.
Absolutely, fishing. Those guys get together and they work really well together. So
awesome. All right, hey Zach, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. I had a great time. And everybody, go get this kayak. I might have to get one. Go to the Shoreline Shopping Show, BayCitiesOnline.com, and get it for a good price. I mean, that's the key. Don't pay full price. Get it for a good price.
But you can pay full price.
Yeah, exactly. Send it that way. All right. Zach, thanks for coming in. And that was this week's podcast. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next week.
Hi, my name is Zak Aubert, owner of Windrose North Outfitters, 427 10th Ave in Menominee. Again, if you've been following us, we're about 8 days away from Memorial Day weekend, and we wanted to give you a couple quick safety tips on the water. So this is probably video number 3 or 4. The culmination of what could happen out there on the bay or in the river is your kayak can capsize. And here's just an example of why it's so important to consider looking at a kayak with bulkheads. This particular kayak has a bulkhead, which is a wall in the front of the kayak that creates an air chamber between, well, actually right in front of your feet, between the front of your foot and the very tip of the kayak. That way there's an air chamber, and the same thing behind your back. There's a wall, and then between that and the end of the kayak, there's an air chamber. Both of those air chambers are sealed up with a hatch cover, and the air chamber itself is called a hatch. So again, you can try this at home with a glass of water or a sink, sink full of water, and then put the glass into the sink real quick, and it's going to create an air gap there. It's the same thing happening with this kayak. Not every kayak has bulkheads. It's a very big safety no-no not to have bulkheads. I'm a strong believer you have to have something that'll prevent that kayak from sinking. If it did not have bulkheads, this kayak would be just like an automobile. It would sink right into the water, and you'd have to go, bring it to the surface. So this kayak is waiting for the paddler to re-enter it. And I can't show you right now because I'm actually not dressed to capsize today. The water temperature's a little on the cooler side, and I would prefer to have a wetsuit on to show you, but I wanted to at least get you this far, so it's something to think about when you go out there on Memorial Day weekend. To just be careful. This can happen to anybody. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the kayak over so you can see where the bulkheads are and the hatch access, and also you can see how much water is in that kayak, because it doesn't come up dry. So I'll pull it in. All right, so looking down in the kayak, you can see there's some water in it. It's not full. Again, we have a bulkhead here, and there's one just like this towards the front of the kayak. And then you can see my hatch cover. My hatch cover did really well. It sealed out that water. There's another one just like this on the bulkhead itself towards the front. In the kayak, now we've got some water. If you were in this kayak would be very unstable because that water weight is bringing the kayak lower into the water, and it also changes. It's all dynamic in there. It's going to change your ability to keep it upright. And so having a bilge pump on board and knowing where that bilge pump is at all times is critical. I always store mine right here. And if anything, it's a $20 accessory. It's a squirt gun on the water on those hot summer days. It can be really fun to squirt your friends and relatives that are on the water enjoying it with you. But in this case, this could be a dire situation here. I'm going to go ahead and secure that bilge pump to the front of the cockpit, and I'm going to start evacuating some of this water. As I'm doing this, the boat becomes lighter and more maneuverable, and so on and so forth. The only other accessories that I have that would aid you in emptying out this kayak, again, would be the paddle float, a sponge to kind of mop up any excess water, or a towel. And then if you're out on the bay, you would definitely want to have some sort of spray skirt on your boat. Having a wreck boat's one thing, taking out on the bay is another, and being able to keep the water out of your boat's critical. Today we have an east wind. We're in the harbor here, it's protected, but just outside the mouth of the river, it's pretty choppy out there. And as you're evacuating water, if you had an exposed cockpit that's this big, you're taking more water on because that wave action is coming into your boat. So having a spray skirt is going to keep that additional water from entering the cockpit while you're trying to bilge pump. And you should have that on at all times if you plan on going out on the bay. So for more information, check us out on our website, windrowsnorth.com. We have Wednesday night paddles this summer. They're $50 a person for lessons. Otherwise, if you want to come out, try out one of these brands. This is a Hurricane Aquasport, real lightweight kayak, but we have many others in stock. Get an opportunity to paddle a nice kayak and see what it feels like. Wednesday nights for 20 bucks, you're out there all night until it's dark. So thanks for checking us out. Again, my name is Zach. I'm with Windrow's North Outfitters, and we hope to see you in store.